I'd like to demonstrate a very effective method for mobilizing, stretching a client's spine when they have a scoliotic curve. A scoliotic curve is a lateral flexion deformity curve, and a scoliotic curve is always named for the side of convexity. So the convex side, not the concave side. So we have Catherine here. She's our model, our client in this situation. And let's suppose that she has a scoliotic curve in this upper lumbar region here. And the convexity is to the right. So we place the convexity down toward the table. Now this is what's called a flexion break table. It has this break between the two pieces. Although in this case we're going to use it really more as a lateral flexion break. We have the break of the table right at the apex of the scoliotic curve, and what we can do is we can increase the lateral flexion here, and as we do this we bring Catherine into right lateral flexion around the apex of this curve, straightening out the scoliotic curve. And depending on the client's flexibility, Catherine is a dancer, so she's very flexible here. We can go to the max that the table will allow. We could bring her quite a bit into this, but obviously we would want to make sure with our clients that we build this up very slowly and gradually over a number of sessions. Now, in this particular case, we supposed that the apex of the scoliotic curve was upper lumbar. But let's say that the curve instead is in the thoracic region. If it's in the thoracic region, Catherine, please scoot down the table toward the foot end. And perfect. So let's say now that we have the break directly under the apex, again, convexity down toward the table. And now we want to open up this area right here. So now we have the break right under the apex. We're opening her up around that apex into the lateral flexion desired to straighten out the scoliotic curve. I could even add to it by pushing on her upper trunk here. Now, if you do not have a flexion break table, then there is a way to play with this with bolsters. It's a little more logistically challenging, but it can be done. So depending on the flexibility, again, of the client, we could use bolsters of different thicknesses and different firmnesses. This is a fairly thick and a fairly firm one. But again, Catherine is quite flexible, so we can do this. Can you lift up a bit? I'm going to slip this right underneath you, right there, and just lie down right around that. Okay, right there. In fact, can you scoot up a little bit toward the head end? Okay, right there. So the center of the bolster is here. Let's say that the center of the scoliotic curve, the apex, is right here. And now, even with her just simply lying on this, in fact, this can be a self-care exercise stretch for the client at home. This will help to push up on the curve and to straighten out the scoliotic curve. Now, if you want, and you have the flexion break table, you could use the bolster with the flexion or lateral flexion break. So we have the bolster right over the point of the break in the table, and we place her here. And now, with the bolster there, we have both the table pushing up as well as the bolster adding to that. And even more so, if the client is flexible enough and can allow for this, I can go over to the head end of the table. Catherine, can I have your arm here? And as long as your shoulder joint is comfortable, I can bring her down into even more lateral flexion, using the arm as the lever to pull her spine around that break in the table. A beautiful stretch for a scoliotic curve. Okay, I'll give you this back. If you liked this video, know that it is part of our video streaming subscription service. Click the link below for more information and receive a free ebook when you sign up.